Okay, so you know what you're trying to do. You're trying to. I'd imagine most of you set up the limit. Okay. Do you feel okay setting up the limit?
Yeah.
X goes to A or H goes to 0.
X goes to
Who? Raise your hand for X goes to A. Raise your hand for H goes to 0. X goes to A. It is. So it's f of x minus. You really need to be comfortable with both over x minus a. Now going to the next step isn't ridiculously bad. It's this, right? over. Okay. So you're trying to cancel out that denominator. So what are you going to attack first? The top. Those are two fractions. To add or subtract fractions, what do you need?
a common denominator.
Yeah. So what are you going to end up with? Root x minus root a all over root x root a all over x minus a. That's the common stack. Are we okay so far?
Yep.
All I did was subtract fractions by getting a common denominator, which was root x root a. Right? We good?
Yes.
It should be
Oh, yeah, look at that. Root a minus root x. Okay. I don't know, so that's root a minus root x over the square root of ax over x minus a. I'm going to get rid of those radicals, right? So what are we going to multiply by? A form of 1, yeah? Square root of what? Over.
Square root of a plus the square root of x.
Yeah, you absolutely are. Good. So let's multiply this out. What happens to the top? What do you end up with? A minus root a root x plus root a root x minus x, actually, right? All over root ax times x minus a times root a plus. What cancels in the numerator? So what are you left with? A. Well, it's minus x. It's the wrong minus sign. I see what you're doing. Over root ax x minus a times root a plus root x. Are we so close? It hurts.
Very much so.
So we can do this, make it a plus, but then what do we put out front? A negative. Ooh, should I be careful?
Yes. You should.
So if I factor this out, if I make it a negative, it turns into what?
X minus a.
X minus a. Yeah. So what do I cancel?
X minus a.
So now, let's put that limit back in there. It's carried down the whole time. So limit as x goes to a of negative 1 over the square root of ax times the square root of a plus the square root of x. We're now able to plug in what for what?
A for x.
Nope.
I mean x for a.
Nope. I was wrong the first time. We're plugging in, what was your first answer? I said no too quickly. A for x, yeah, you were absolutely right. So this equals, I make mistakes, it happens, the square root of a times a, the square root of a plus the,
Square root of a.
so that's negative 1 over a times 2 root a.
I agree.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So that's negative 1 over 2 times a to the what power?
1/2.
3.5? 3 over 2?
That one.
That one. So you can say that's negative 2a to the what power? No, sorry, negative 1/2 a to the what power? A to what power? Negative 3 over 2. Now let's see if we got some agreement. We're good? We like it? The other questions went okay? Pretty confident with that? Okay, good. As follows, we also saw that the velocity of an object with position s equals f of t at time t is this. Okay, so not much changes. What does this equal when you do that out? What do you get when you do that?
You get a number.
You get a number. It could be in terms of a, right? We just did that.
Yes.
Could be in terms of a. Why is it useful to have it in terms of a?